Pronto, voltou. Era isso mesmo, tinha que reiniciar.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open
É,
up
tá
to
certo.
us when she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Vamos para o café? Dá pra pro som, não dá, cara. Aí, passou isso, eu nem prestei atenção no que tá acontecendo. Meu Deus, o que tá acontecendo? Desse tamanho. Eu não senti, digita a última vez. Tudo o que, garoto? Esse monkey. Cadê a mulher? Ah, tá. Ah, tá com a Linette. Ah, você tá me dando spoiler da Arkham Quest, para com isso. Eu não estou lá, então. O que será que elas estão apontando?
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid.
Nossa.
How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And why are you doing this?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance.
Ah, é?
I give you my word. Trust me.
Okay. How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since. I also know that the Fleuve Sonde is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're serious about going there, please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit, but stay sharp.
Meu Deus, tá me dando spoiler.
They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. Alright. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Modo de conservação de energia. Ela é um robô, né? Vamos entrar na oficina do cara. Olha que eu... Ah, tá. Sim. Nossa. Pra não me matar. Esse aqui. E tem gente que mora nesse outro. Peguei um lagarto do fogo. É aqui?
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first. There we go. It should be just down here.
Que anjo. Esse time tá bom pra usar com o Billy? Acho que tá, né? Calma, eu vou fazer um time pra ir com o Billy. Como se eu tivesse ele, de verdade. Qual time que é bom pra ele? Monopyro, né? Que usa. Monopyro. Vou levar o caso ao grande Xixinho.
Gonna be epic.
Deixa eu ver se eles estão artefatos. Achei que não tá certo. Ela, como tá? O papo tá na mão, né? Se não me engano, é a de recarga. É. Porque ela precisa de recarga. Eu não tenho a fisgada. Eu tô quase conseguindo, tá, fisgada? Eu tô fazendo no meu ritmo. Tô pescando no meu ritmo, mas eu não tenho a fisgada, então tem que usar. Ah, não espero tá bom. Tenho que usar essa. A protótipo. Vamos. É nós três e o Nilo. Vai ser monopyro. Hum, hum. O que é esse fogo? Já tá carregado? Eu não sei o que ele faz. É que quando ele lançou, eu parei de jogar, então nem. Eu odeio que ele sempre me denoblesse, mano. Esses pets lá sempre. Ah, ele ganha ataque. Um ataque. Nossa! A constelação dele aumenta o ataque. Nossa! A constelação dele aumenta o ataque. Interessante. Carregado de disparo com mira. Pega um disparo a flecha do Pyro. Tá. Ah, tá. Então tem que usar o ataque carregado dele. Uhum. E a vida permanece assim. Ficar gastando vida também. Nossa, nossa, o ataque básico dele faz muita coisa, né? Ele aquele ali. Tá. Tem que fazer o quê? Tentar um defeito. E a última. Nossa. Ele faz Gato Brincadeira de Chapéu, que não é o chapéu do Gato Brincadeira, tá? Regenera... Tá, regenera o mexer, tá. Ó. Ah, então é por isso que é monopólio. Né? Quem é esse de cartola? É o Lini. É um personagem novo da... Lançou no lançamento de Fontaine. Mas é muito. Ah, entendi. Acho que eu entendi o que tem que fazer. Tem que dar o ataque carregado, tá vendo? Pra fazer os cantinhos.
Time to go.
Só pra mim. Aqui.
So this was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further.
Balãozinho.
What was that? Oh,
Nem vi.
is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Ai. Só tá com bonecas pra...
And voila! Into the wind. Fallen leaves. Adorn my nut.
Everybody stand back!
Ah, tem.
Eat this! Whoa. Look. The doll in the box is glowing. There's something written on the card on the doll. Let's take a closer...
De desejos. Eu gostaria de um balde de frango frito infinito. Eu quero uma mochila nova. Observação, nesse mundo não existe frango frito infinito, assim como não existem crianças que nunca crescem. Além disso, comer comidas muito gordurosas faz mal. Então lembre-se de comer junto com algo saudável, como uma salada. Tá bom, então. Minha voz está estranha no mic? Ih, caramba. Hoje é dia. É bom acontecer isso agora, porque depois a gente já vai arrumando. O microfone tá estranho, tá? Vamos ver o que tá acontecendo. É que eu estou usando o meu microfone mesmo. Será que é porque ele tá longe? Vou colocar ele um pouco mais perto. Mudou alguma coisa? Talvez seja... Tá meio
So long
robótico,
as the audience
chiada,
thinks that
coisa
seeing is
certinha.
believing, there's no limit to the number
Eu vou
of
fazer o
tricks I
seguinte,
can
então. Eu vou trocar o microfone pelo do... Ah, então tem que colocar mais perto mesmo. Melhorou? Tem que falar mais perto do microfone mesmo, então. Beleza. Ah, tá vendo? É bom. Que bom. Resolveu fácil, pelo menos, esse problema. É que ele tava ali pra não ficar na minha frente, mas tudo bem. Deixa eu ver. Dá pra usar. Vamos continuar. Provavelmente, como ele tava um pouco longe, ele tava se esforçando mais do que precisava pra captar a minha voz, aí tava esquisita. Nossa, tem um monte de coisa aqui. Peraí. Uma bola.
These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Ah, eu não vi qual que é
Got it. We're supposed to find the box that lit up at the start, right?
É, só que
Should
eu,
be another wish list inside.
só que eu não cheguei. Tá, é essa aqui do
Let's
meio.
keep trying.
Tá, foi ali. Ah, fechou muito rápido. Cacete. Deu certo. Vamos tentar esse. Ah, aquilo é um caminho? Não. Mas agora eu fiquei curioso pra saber o que tem aqui em cima. E literalmente uma
Looks
escada.
like we've reached the end of this
Ah, não tem
route.
nada aqui.
Shall we try a different one?
Não, tudo bem. Aqui eu acho que não tem nada aqui. Pera, talvez tenha baú, né? Bom, que eu não tô enxergando, então não. Aqui também não. Não.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
O que ele tá olhando?
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere. Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... And... presto!
Presto.
A secret passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike.
Eu acho que isso não
Looks pretty
justifica.
big inside.
Você literalmente
Let's head in and take a
achou
look around.
aleatoriamente. Mas tudo bem, eu aceito. Vou pra terminar logo a história.
Now disappear!
One with nature. As one with wind and cloud.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's get this show on the road!
Ih, eu fui embora. Ó, tá. Ah, é legal o ult dele, eu gostei. Você vira o gatinho.
Step right up!
The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds come.
Let's light it up!
Everybody stand back! Yeah.
Ele morreu quando eu tava atirando. Ué, eu nem tava aqui. Acho que eu cheguei, me aproximei da.
Why have you stopped, Lenny? Is there some device in that box?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead.
Não, eu quero
If
continuar
anyone
com
makes a
você.
major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right, see you in a bit.
A Nádia. Não, preciso de mim pro meu time. Tá, deixa eu investigar. O que ele fala sobre essa coisa?
The placement of this device inside. If I remember correctly.
Ah, eu vou ter que fazer. Ative todas as pedras sem seu caminho. Como? Acho que eu entendi. The Mind. Ah, eu tenho a minha mente. Cara, mano. Eu sou muito genial. Virou uma cartola. Nossa.
Wow, there's a hidden room here. Let's see. Oh, this bookcase is full of Caesar's own notes. He wrote a lot about the principles of magic. Whew. Much too advanced for
Yeah.
my mind. This book's thick as a brick. Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted. Boy, are my legs sore.
Que bonzinho ele.
I wound up saving very little
Ele virou
this
tipo o
month.
Papai Noel das
But
crianças.
that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat?
Aí, meu fone. Crianças seguintes mágicas.
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised.
Será que essas duas crianças são Aline e
I do hope they
Lynette?
got home safely. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these two. I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. They seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down. It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately. But he won't
Lorenzo.
open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them.
Nice.
Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed. It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the two kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. I guess we'll be parting ways soon. It's only been 10 days since I first met them,
Awesome.
but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. They're not like other children. It's a shame that I can't do more to help them. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods, and that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other. I bet they've already forgotten every word I said. Oh, Caesar, Caesar. Just mind your own business next time.
Realmente.
Two magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh?
Quem será que é, pai? Quem será?
Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny and Lynette, don't you think? So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Linny!
Time to go.
Linny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
Uh-oh.
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed.
What?
First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then what?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy.
Eita.
He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it. Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
É mesmo.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional degree of showmanship. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter of a mesmerizing magic trick. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician. But unfortunately, even he didn't manage to pull it off.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
Por que você teve que explicar todo o truque?
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay. Nothing suspicious there.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed.
Mas por que ele fingiria ser destro?
Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation at hand.
Isso
But
parece.
a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will, so as to avoid arousing their suspicion. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left.
E alguém usou isso contra ele.
Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't there. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was due to his own error.
When in reality,
Yes.
someone switched the boxes, and they did it to murder him. But how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult to pull off, no?
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by his side. Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the
Vi
hard
que
way
todos
just creates more
os
problems for me to
elementos
deal
estão
with.
planeados.
But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but you disappoint me.
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her!
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just wouldn't drop it. Which is why you can't leave this place alive. Take them out and make it quick.
Do your worst!
É isso que eu quero ver. Cara, literalmente os dois usam elementos.
And voila! One with nature.
Teamwork is dreamwork! You're toast!
Nossa, ele deu 40 mil de dano, você viu, mano? Tá ligado? Ó, 40 mil. Tô olhando ele no.
You kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet,
A gente
Lorenzo?
literalmente
Your
tem
cronies
visão.
can't
Como
help
que
you now.
você acha que vai conseguir ganhar disso?
I think it's high time
Meu
you started
Deus.
talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolize Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
Era inveja, então.
So it was jealousy.
É, inveja.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him. Never bothering to think about Mora.
O que isso tem a ver com você?
What sort of fool
Qual que é
devotes
o...
their life to the art of deception and
O que
never
você
has
se
a Mora
importa?
to show for it? But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he?" Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me
Porque você
nothing
não
more than the
sofreu
life I
bullying.
already had.
E por isso que você matou
He
ele.
forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their mora. There was nothing he hated more than that.
Ah,
And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic, he would expose me, and it would destroy me.
Expor os truques de mágica?
There was no other way.
Mano,
He had to go.
Nossa, eu tô achando muito absurdo. Como?
And this was your only motive?
It was reason enough. What other motive would I
No.
need?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were
já acho
in
que ele
love
tava
with
apaixonado
Gemma,
pelo
but
César.
she was engaged to Caesar.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way, that the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
Oh yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
So that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all over again during your trial.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws.
I know.
You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. What else can I do? So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end this way, but I regret nothing.
Very well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
Tá bom.
At least I can finally stop looking over my
Lily has told me the whole story.
E
Lorenzo,
eles
do you
só,
confess
tipo,
to the murder
acreditaram
of
tudo que
Caesar
ele falou,
and to
beleza.
framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
E ele só confessa, tá?
Look who's finally developed a
Bom,
conscience.
ele não tem nada... Ele não tem
What
por
kind of
que
disciple
pegar, eu
murders
acho.
their own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Ai, trouxa.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Good point. We should go tell Gemma the good news right away. It'll give her some peace of mind for sure.
Onde está o nome? Ai, eu tô lentamente me arrependendo das minhas escolhas. Tipo, eu gosto da história de Genshin, mas vai ser muito tempo. Eu, tipo, sinto que eu perco muito tempo, eu sinto. Deixa eu trocar o time, só pra não esquecer. Eu não tô mais punindo. Eu tô usando.
My mind is completely blank. Ah, you're back.
Aham.
You were so quick.
Ah, rápido? Você achou isso rápido?
Your third? Lynette, come on. We've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
That's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now. But try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I still didn't know if I could trust you.
Agora que a gente já fez
Now it
tudo,
seems
ela
I can.
consegue confiar. Tá bom.
I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but I...
Você tá chorando?
It's okay, we understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard to trust strangers in your position too. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I've been waiting for this day to come for so long. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious, but I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't risk looking into it. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me, and then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So I never had the courage to speak out. Thank you all. Truly. Thank you so much.
Tá bom. Aí a gente vai pro cemitério, não sei o que pensando em mim. Não é feito para sério. Agora tá com o nome limpo depois da morte. Ele que tava sendo acusado de ser ladrão.
Clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got along great. And to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
E será que ele vai fazer o número do César?
Caesar's honor? Really? Oh, thank you. I'll be there.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon.
É a homenagem, né?
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show.
Vamos lá.
Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Linny and Lynette.
Ai, tá bom. É óbvio que eram eles. 18 horas. Ah. Eu sei que não precisa colocar 18 horas certinho, mas eu tenho toque, tá bom? Me respeita. Vamos pegar água. Nossa, show. Não, tá, né? Mas acho que eu vou só teleportar mais próximo. Vamos ver. Né? Vamos dar bunda do Bryce ali. Não, o pior é que eu achava que era meme, mas ele realmente tem a curvinha. Tá vendo? Ele tem a bundinha. Ele não é reto igual os outros caras. Esse aqui não dá pra ver. Mas se você pega, sei lá, o João Mi. É reto a bunda dele, não tem bunda. Mas ele tem. Aí tem um mod, fizeram um mod que aumenta mais ainda o tamanho. Eu vi no Twitter. Ué, a Linette tá na plateia? De repente apareceu um monte de gente.
Everyone's excited to see another of Linny's magic shows! Wait. Lynette, shouldn't you be on stage by now?
Not this time. My brother's going solo today. So, I'll be watching with you.
Ah, então tá bom.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready because the show is about to begin.
Papai Mano não senta, né? Coitado, ela só voa. Nossa, ele parece tão minúsculo. É por causa da... Eu sei que é por causa da perspectiva, mas... É tipo mini Lini.
Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Vamos lá. Ah, não vai mostrar? Eu pensei que ia ter uma...
Yes, it's just...
Eu pensei que ia ter uma cena.
It reminds me of him.
No wonder. Caesar was a famous magician too. So, how did you two first meet, Gemma?
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too. So I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head. I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
Oh, that's so cute! Actually, now that you mention it, Linny's done that one before.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like Caesar. So let's treasure the time we have with him. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you...
That's
right. It's all over now. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on. You can breathe easy at last, right?
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now, Phantom Weasel.
See? Even Lynette says... Wait,
Ué.
what?
É ela que é a
The
dona.
Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't like this riddle. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something!
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most electrifying
Agora
act
sim vai ter
of
cutscene,
tonight's
eu
show,
espero.
the
No,
one
ao
we've
mínimo.
all been waiting for. The final performance will take place
Olha,
outside of the
Charlotte.
Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
Eu consegui pegar uma Charlotte.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon. Let's talk somewhere else for now.
Ah, eu achando que ia terminar já, vai ter mais coisas. Ela é o Doninho Fantasma, então. Ok. Eu tenho que ir.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood. This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now, who wants to hear a story?
Linny, don't we have more important things to address right now? Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment ago. Oh, what the heck's going on?
What the heck's going on?
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really? Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's dying of curiosity here!
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a
Não quero
target,
mais essa
never left a
pontuação.
trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day, she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought this on, Linny? Is it something that Lorenzo said?
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his confession, as if there was something else he was trying to
eu
hide.
meio que comentei que eu achei que ele confessou rápido demais.
So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in on it? But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand.
Deixa eu só
Why would
lutar
the
com
real
ela e
weasel
acabar
have
com isso.
targeted things that only have value to other people? Could you shed any light on that?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we? If I had to guess, I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible childhood. Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike.
Nossa, tá bom
I
então.
will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true. And it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Now it all makes sense.
Does this story satisfy you, Linny?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you trying to achieve there? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. But it seems like someone still wasn't ready to let her finally be at peace. Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House. But why?
Então foi o próprio Lily que mandou a carta no começo.
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago? You mean Caesar's death? You met him? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been so long, and you're all grown up now. I didn't recognize you. He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why? Because you feel like you still owe him something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. 10 years on, and no one cares what the truth is anymore. But we did not forget, and so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has admitted to everything. I'm free.
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, we must find our own truth. I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value, fervent hopes and dreams, and irreplaceable people. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night, stealing became your way of numbing the pain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. But what did he have to gain from all that? He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know, deep down, that he is the only truth you have in your life. But that truth is gone now, and I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Congratulations on your freedom.
Nossa, eu que a Ninette ela é
Your
muito.
freedom will cost you dearly.
Ela é bem
From now
sarcástica,
on, you'll
debochada.
be all alone in a world full of lies and
Tipo,
falsehoods.
é um traço de personalidade que eu não esperava que ela tivesse.
You've still got a long life ahead of you after all.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Linny to perform his final act in tonight's show. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well, wonder no more, for the answer is a death-defying high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
Uma fuga. Ah, ele vai fazer. Ah, tá vendo? Eu sabia que ele ia fazer o truque do César.
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel. So we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crimes.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
Então vai, quero ver. Agora sim, uma catinha.
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever? You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today. Maybe then you'll finally understand.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
Yes.
So, what are we, doing now?
Like Lenny said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
Por favor.
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lenny after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
Alright. Well, let's go and watch Lenny's finale then. This trick's a pretty dangerous one, but he should be able to pull it off, right?
Vai, quero ver. Vamos assistir o truque. Tá escrito em alta altitude, eu li em alta qualidade. E... Onde eu assisto? Eu tenho que sair, Ah, acho que eu tenho que subir, né? Não entendi. Por que eu tenho que sair da outra house? Ah, vai ser lá fora. Vamos ver. Vem aí. Eu acho que não tinha começado o desenho. Cadê o desenho? Ah, agora vai.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic.
Isso é da hora.
Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Lenny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Lenny! Watch out!
Mysterious.
É por isso que ele falou da visão.
Surprising. And logic defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished, right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show. This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale. It will make a great headline for the Steambird tomorrow, even if I do say so myself.
Whew. Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale.
Apesar de não saber o que ele sabe.
Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual haunt. But, oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Linny's way of... Alright, let's go look for him there.
Vamos, onde é o cemitério? Já acampando uma marcada ali porque eu tava farmando pra Ninette.
Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horribly wrong.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. So I tweaked Caesar's original setup a little to keep it fresh. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling sometimes I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or...
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop.
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda. I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning, but I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and make niftier We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a...
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took... In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, but in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, what amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating. Trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly,
Linny.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a but don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, after Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death that night. I remembered his smile. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt.
Yeah, cheer up, Linny. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey, too. Delicious food, fun toys, and the Traveler by my side. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kinda make you Paimon's truth?
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's why the darkness never consumed me and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we remember every... All right, time to lighten this conversation up a little.
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. Lenny?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decidedly...
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something. The Lenny...
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go, but only because it's you. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going along with this!
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me. Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere else.
Really? Let's see. Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different flower from the last time, right?
Oh, look.
This one's called, but more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done. Please, Lenny, pretty please!
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by addressing me as teacher.
Fine.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot...
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I bid you both good night. I look forward to seeing you again.
All right, fine. See ya. Shall we head back down too? Oh, Paimon can't wait to read the Steambird tomorrow. Paimon bets Lenny. Let's head to the Steambird's offices tomorrow morning and see...
Não, já acabou a missão. Ainda tem que ir de novo amanhã. O quê? Nossa, eles colocam tanta coisa que não precisa. Eu já tenho acabado aqui já. Deus. Era meio-dia, eu não lembro mais.
Word of advice: don't break the law.
Era...
Is there anything else?
Era 8, também não lembro. Era da 8 também até meio-dia.
Yeah, seriously. Don't break the law.
Nem sei onde é isso. Ai, não lembro. Cara, não fácil, né? Fazer. Preciso ficar uma quantidade de tempo. É só iniciar uma missão bonitinho, que não acaba nunca.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Lenny, I'll only take a moment of your time, if you would be so kind.
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and I was going to go to print this, but just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the good...
That was quick.
Ela se entregou.
Too late, bro.
That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Please, fill me in.
Hey, Paimon.
Whoops! Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar.
Huh. Okay, then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it...
well...
Oh, I remember now! You and Gemma were nowhere to be... Quickfire question! Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Lenny did a private magic trick. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon, guess what?
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important?
No, I just...
What now? This is getting pretty awkward.
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Bye.
Lynette? Paimon?
Don't worry, I wasn't angry.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
You and me both, Paimon. You and me both. At least it did the job.
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
Aê. Finalmente. Eu sempre acabo com uma frase meio aleatória. Será que deu gema o suficiente pra... Ah, dá pra dar mais um aqui. Mais um só. Será que vem alguma coisa? A última coisa que eu tirei foi a Charlotte. Não ia vir nem coisa 4 estrelas. Eu acho que vale mais a pena guardar. Ó, tô pitch bem baixo. Guardar pra vir, guardar 10. E aí eu atiro 10 de uma vez, acho que é melhor. Eu cansei de história, eu quero fazer missão. Eu vou fazer missões de reputação, que eu não fiz ainda. Vamos caçar. Vamos lá. Esse bichinho é bem chato. Ele é vulnerável a dano mínimo. Tendo recebido oportunidade usando espada, isso é aumentar. Ah, eu acho que com o time que eu tô eu consigo ganhar ali. Ficar congelando. Só que eu não vou usar. Eu vou usar só a Charlotte, ó. Eu vou usar só a Leila e o Ryder.
Ah, it's raining? That's all right. The real problem would be if we could feel water dripping on our heads in the fortress of Meripede.
Not now.
It's gonna get a little chilly. On the way now.
My guiding stars. Don't be scared.
Let's begin. Instead of going big, yes.
Oh, shield, não faz nada. Ai.
Not now. The night is cold. The stars shine for me.
On the way now.
Mais um. Esse aqui eu vou ter que trocar de chip. Ela é invulnerável ao dano cryo e tem diminuição da resistência a mínima. Tá, aqui, acho que eu já sei que eu vou usar isso aqui. Vou usar isso aqui primeiro. Temos o filho aqui. Vou colocar. Deixa
I can do it.
Eu ainda não sei a roupa certinho, não, tá? Nossa, mas vai ficar isso não. Ah, como falou. Não é muito isso aqui que eu posso fazer. Na real é, só que eu ainda não terminei de farmar. Vou colocar um cantinho. O que era o bicho mesmo? Não lembro mais. Ah, era uma dama, né?
Absorption test. Animal test 6308. Don't break my glasses. Enhanced animal module 75. Midnight phantasm. Eat this. Boba, get them. Allow me. Stand clear. Out of my sight. Into the fire. Winter.
Ela se teleportou e morreu. Certo. Próximo. Ele é invulnerável a dano gelo, né? Gelo. Ele dano recebe usando arcos. Aqui eu também meio que posso usar qualquer time. Eu vou. Não sei, deixa eu ver por aqui. Eu podia desmarcar já essas campanhas, porque eu já terminei de fazer a ascensão da net. Agora isso deu uma esfriada. Eu vou poder
Wait, did I leave my apron outside to dry?
fazer outro time.
Time to broaden the horizons again.
Let's go get ourselves some answers.
Let's go get ourselves some answers.
I'll lead the way. Follow me.
Let's get out there and make some friends.
Fazer burst. Vamos deixar aquele no não precisa de taxa crítica. Ela só precisa de vida, né? Acho, né? Tá chovendo ainda. Nossa, ele tá congelado.
Quietly now. Game's up. On silver. Gotcha.
Don't be scared.
Here's Mega! Don't get too close!
Ai, pula, pula, pula. É isso. Banjo. Meu time favorito.
The weather is lovely and warm. Things are about to start getting lively again.
Ah, tá. É que não apareceu o triângulo na cabeça mesmo. Eu achei que eu tava no lugar errado. Então. Pensa. Agora. Aí ficou aqui. Agora não consigo fazer isso. Leite. Essa aqui que é sal. Esse aqui que é. Ah, que é o mate caranguejos. Nossa, 8 garrafas de leite. Tá bom. Leva as garrafas de leite. Cadê essa criança? Ah, pronto. 8 garrafas de leite. Ah, nível 5 de reputação. Depois eu tenho que ir lá pra ver. Opa, ver a minha recompensa. Sal. 10 garrafas de sal. Cadê a pessoa? Como é que eu vou conseguir navegar até o fim? Não, tá aqui o sol. 10 garrafas de sal. Próximo. Caos Uranguejo. Vai ser o nome, Caos Uranguejo. É só ir ali e matar os caras. Eu vou fazer o time do lugar.
My mind is completely blank. I need to get out and unwind.
Want me to come along?
Yeah, I'll do my best, but I can't guarantee.
Vai então morrer. Eu pensei em matar aqueles robôs ali, mas eu vou deixar eles quietos por enquanto.
Oh, learn to command.
Fallen
vou pegar
leaves,
fogo.
adorn my night!
Things are about to get dicey.
For more, please.
Ele fica com tantos efeitos, né? Tão legal. Acabei. Agora eu vou pegar minha recompensa. Porque eu passei de nível. Peguei. Esse aqui. Gerador e água. Posso ativar o circuito de apoio para ser uma forte força de evolução que vai. Eu acho que eu entendi. É tipo uma skill do caso, velho.
Into the wind.
Ah, entendi. Será que tem um lugar alto? Onde é que... Quero testar pra ver se consigo pular 2 vezes no ar. No caso, né? Tipo, a gente se joga. Assim. Tem que estar ativo. Peraí. Ganhou um pulso pra cima. É diferente, né? É interessante. Vamos inventar as coisas. Faz pegar mais um pulso. Legal. Quero ler, não quero ler mais nada. Chega de ler por hoje. Mais uma coisa. Deixa eu ver se já respawnou meus besouros. Respawn. Ele me ajuda, né? Ele não tá jogando. Será que ele tá... Será que ele tá streamando? Ele entrar no mundo do jogo pra pegar besouro. É que falta muito pouco. Falta acho que 8, deixa eu ver. Ó, falta 8 só. Será que eu ainda deixo entrar no mundo dele? Peraí. Não foi possível. Acho que o Renan tá fazendo a história, não dá pra entrar agora. É que o Bill tem o Ryan também. Nossa, ele já pegou um. Eu espero, eu nem vou conseguir. Nem vou conseguir upar ele agora. Quanto eu tenho de easy? 34. Tem que fazer o boss. E eu tô no chão. Eu também tô, porque eu não consigo fazer agora. A história. É o. Eu tenho que fazer o do Neverlet. Eu devia ter feito o do Neverlet, né? Eu sou burro. Ok. Essa mesmo. Eu devia ter feito a do Neuvillette. Ao invés de... Ao invés de ter feito a do Line inteira. Eu fiquei tipo 2 horas fazendo do Line e aí agora eu não quero mais jogar. Acho que eu provavelmente vou fazer do Neuvillette offline. E depois eu faço a... E depois eu faço a história. Não, eu acho incrível que ele falou, não vou dar spoiler. Aí ele vem e dá spoiler. Por que você é assim, né?
Wind Strider.
Busted.
Eu rio, cara.
My guiding stars.
Gotcha.
Away now.
Another
Stars shine from
suffocate.
The wind knows me.
Quietly now.
A moment, please.
Os bichos morrem antes de eu começar a bater com o raio. Tinha a arma dele também, coisa lá. Não consigo chegar no... Não consigo chegar no nível 90 ainda. Nossa. Vai, minha coisa tá mais perto. Tô quase lá. É que eu tirei recentemente esse catalisador. Eu só deixei pra upar ele agora. Que eu tenho alguém pra usar. Ok, sim. Aqui tem uma arma, certo?
I'd take it if I were you. I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Ah, eu acho que eu entendi. O que eu tinha que fazer de verdade. Tinha que usar um arqueiro do lado do baú e ficar usando as coisas por fora.
the night is cold.
Ah, deixa eu aproveitar culinária aqui. E eu vou cozinhar aqueles pratos novos que eu fiz. Que eu fiz não, que eu liberei.
Gonna be epic.
Eu não tô vendo o nome deles. Vai fazer lasanha. Cadê a lasanha? Tá certo. Um prato de massa assada. Massa assada, espada de queijo, molho de carne, bechamel. Delícia. Você pode. Lasanha. Será que eu faço tempero com ciência? Eu não faço o quê? Só do 34 e 1900 ml. Ah, tá. É tipo pura só. É bom, é bom. Vamos fazer, vai. Até eu pegar vocês. Aqui, é que eu comecei a fazer, tá me dando fome. Quer dizer, eu acho que eu já tava com fome, mas aí não tava. O estômago não tava pensando na fome, agora eu tô fazendo essa lasanha aqui. Faltou só tomate, né? Ah, já quase. Mais um. E perfeito. Agora eu sou profissional em fazer lasanha. Nessa idade. Tomate. O que é isso aqui? Isso aqui parece muito gostoso, na vida real. É um tomate recheado. Sei que tem muita receita nova. Sempre tiver nome de. Um nome meio francês. Aqui, ó. Não é possível isso aí. Tem aqui também. Acho que. Ah, é esse aqui mesmo. Carne de pato. Parece delícia. Cadê aquele que é a carne com batata? Aqui, ó. Nossa, ele vai geleia. É, deve ser o molho agridoce, né? Fazer o molho agridoce. Legal. Vou tirar o Bennett. Bennett não pertence a esse aqui.
All right, let's head off.
De quarto, né? E eu já tô postando antes dele no molho. Não vamos exagerar. Eu posso pegar. Posso pegar o. Não sei o que. Eu não fiz ainda. O Apep. Eu não sei. A ult não usa muito também mesmo. Acho que eu não tenho mais o que fazer. Quer dizer, ter eu tenho, né? Só não quero. Posso tentar abrir o mapa. Parte nova do mapa. Por isso que eu sei. Não é debaixo da água não, né? Essas estátuas. Ah, também é lindo. Nossa, cara. Nossa, que isso? Que isso? Água viva de chapéu gigante. Incrível. Quantos faltam? 28, 17. Tá. Calma, depois eu exploro. Eu não peguei já. Peguei aqui, né? Deixa eu pegar aqui embaixo. Ó, eu só quero abrir o mapa. Tá bom. Não, beleza, não dá pra chegar. Tô vendo a luz dele já. Da estátua. Ah, vou abrir isso aqui. Pera, como é?
My guiding stars.
Tá bom. Adianta alguma coisa ativar assim? Acho que não. Depois eu vejo isso. Tem que focar no meu objetivo, que é ir na estátua pra abrir o mapa.
Take it easy.
A gente, tipo... Não, isso aqui é bom se você estiver, tipo, acabando, sabe? E dá pra você ficar... Ai, cadê? Dá pra você ficar parado no ar. Dá pra você ficar parado no ar e... recuperar estamina, eu acho. Calma. Ó, tá vendo? Fica parado um tempinho lá e recupera estamina. Muito útil. Quer dizer, é muito útil, mas é útil, vai. Anunciário, competição nova, pode ser. Porto do Midolce. É isso. Vou pegar esse porto. Tudo bem, continua também. Uma torre. Eu não sei nem pra onde que eu tô indo, pera. Eu queria gastar. Eu não queria. Eu queria, mas eu não queria. Mas eu vou. Vou fazer o boss. Rise Day, não fez. Vou pra gastar. Vou fazer o boss, esse boss e eu vou fazer o APEP também. Aqui eu tenho de resina pra gastar. Acho que eu já encerro, já consigo. Foda, porque eu queria ter feito a história da Arcult, mas eu tive que fazer outra. Mas eu vou fazer assim. Offline. Vou fazer lá do Bullet.
The night is cold. Don't be scared.
E aí.
As one with wind and cloud.
Gotcha. Here comes
Espera, acho que amanhã. Não, amanhã não. Amanhã eu tenho. Que sexta eu faço. Hoje eu tô muito mais pra ver se tá tudo funcionando direitinho.
Not now. Stars, shine for me.
The wind knows
A gente tem que funcionar.
the birds
busted. Ha! Game's up. Fun's over.
Amor.
And that's against the rules. My guiding stars. Don't be scared.
Gotcha. Busted.
Not now.
As one with wind and cloud.
Gotcha.
Eu é uma conquista. Ilumine os mapas da região. Ah, não é esse aqui. Derrote o gerador do corpo sem ser atingido por uma onda gravitacional. Ah, tá. Eu não fui atingido pela onda? Ou fui atingido por tal com o escudo? Provavelmente foi isso. Vamos fazer o Apex. O Apex é chato. É isso. Não. É esse aqui. Aqui eu faço com outro time. Acho que eu vou fazer com o time.
Time to broaden the horizons again.
Deixa eu tirar essa coisa.
For justice.
O chinchorro é mais rápido.
I'll take good care of everyone.
Yeah.
Where are we headed this time?
Essa aqui sim. Ah, aqui eu tenho que pagar. Vai ter que estar o melhor possível. Não tô vendo do jogo. Ah, tá parando. Deixa eu ver. É que ela não dá escudo, mas o outro efeito, o efeito do buff é bom. Tipo. E aqui. Sempre eu não faço isso.
Everyone hold hands.
Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate. Huh?
You Glade, here.
Fire it up! Supporting fire!
Make yourselves a move. Yeah. Yeah.
Witness the power of Gugwa. Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword.
Don't be scared.
Check this out!
Rain cutter. Rain outlines your fate.
Stay put.
Here's Becca! Fire it up!
Let me weave you a verse.
So, I got you covered!
The Temple of Wisdom. Yeah.
Rain outlines your fate. Huh? Witness the power of Gugwa.
Check this out! Here's Becca!
I see everything.
Rain cutter.
Don't be scared.
So, I got you covered!
Oh, you win.
Know my sword. Witness the power of Gugwa. Huh?
You Glade, here.
Fire it up! Here's Becca!
Everyone hold hands. Yeah.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Time to act. Rain cutter.
Don't be scared. Grow, grow, grow. You Glade, you're up.
Don't get too close!
Body and rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Let me weave you a verse.
Stay put.
I got you covered! Check this out!
Ótimo, deu duas. Muito bom. É. E... Ai, manos. Acho que é isso. Acho que eu cansei de jogar por hoje. Mas foi bom que deu pra testar o PC. Ver como que ia ficar a live. Ficou da hora. Eu acho que eu vou fazer... É, exatamente isso que eu falei. Eu vou fazer a missão... Vou fazer as missões que eu abri sem querer offline. E aí quando for na sexta, a gente joga. E aí eu faço a história do Arconte. Aí a gente vai acompanhando o jogo. Beleza? E eu vou tentar também lembrar de não fazer as diárias, coisas. Vou deixar pra fazer na live. Tá bom? Mas é isso aí. Agora, cadê? Deixa eu ver. Ela Isso. É que eu tô Full HD agora. Eu acho que ainda tá pequeno. A câmera, talvez deva deixar um pouquinho maior. Eu vou ajustar depois, talvez. Mas é isso, agora eu tenho que me acostumar ainda a estar Full HD. Eu tenho que deixar um pouco maior.
How about we go for a nice meal sometime? My
Mas é
treat,
isso,
of course.
gente. Eu agradeço o que ficou até o finalzinho. Voltei na sexta, não vou fazer porque eu tenho monitoria, então não dá. Mas eu faço na sexta. E aí a gente continua, faz a história do Arconte. Talvez eu faça. Eu termine a build do Ridley, a gente testa o abismo. A gente faz as coisinhas legais de Glint que hoje realmente eu cansei por causa do Lily. Mas é isso, gente. O que você está pensando, né? Meu cabelo tá zoado. Eu mexo ali. Vou embora. Tá? Beijo e tchau. Tá vendo? Ah, você não terminou ainda? Vou fazer.
I really did
Calma,
spend a
tem que ter
lot
calma.
recently. Only
Eu
10
já
more
melhor,
left.
mas eu faço na
Still,
sexta.
10 more is better than
Com
no more.
certeza. Tá bom? Beijo. Até sexta. Tchau, falou.